Alright, late night video, we're just going to talk about the anime or new anime that I'm watching right now, and of course we're starting with One Piece. The first two episodes of Egghead are out. I will tell you when I talk about manga spoilers. So right now, just the anime only. I am in love with the new animation style and design, the pastels, the more whimsical, cartoony, free-flowing. It allows Luffy to go full Looney Tunes. Let's put it that way. I'm in love with this new character design and the color palette, and I can't wait for things to get dark and still have this style. I'm already picturing certain moments, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna break me. I love it. Probably one of my favorite moments in the intro is going to be the bloody handprints around Helmet Guy, whose name I totally know. I know it starts with an S. I'm bad with names. And there is another scene with two people holding some flowers, and it's like down by their side. And at first I'm like, what the hell is this from? And vague manga spoilers, very vague. I had assumed it was from a scene that hasn't happened yet in the manga. I'm thinking the death of a character that will break my heart and soul and crush me, and I'll just be on the floor sobbing for probably 2 days. But no. It is a reflection back to O'Hara, and I'm like, yes, that makes sense. Okay, where do we start? Where do we start with this? The glorious that was these first two episodes. We're on the Sunny, and Luffy has just told everyone his dream, and everyone's reaction to it. Jinbei's just being like laughing. Oh, what a silly captain I've hooked myself to. Chopper is going crazy, laughing and smiling and jumping around, saying how awesome Luffy is. Everyone's like, oh, only you would have some kind of crazy idea like that. And Frankie is just all of, oh, you'll have to be the Pirate King to achieve that dream. And I'm like, what is his dream? It is driving me crazy. I need to know. The most common theories I see is just he wants to throw a big party and have a big meal with everybody. And I'm like, how does being Pirate King allow you to fulfill that dream? Oh, you'll have like authority to knight people, and people have to kind of do what you say. Luffy didn't even want the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. He's not interested in bossing people around. So unless he just wants to do something huge that will require a celebration, but he probably knows of what happened when Roger was made Pirate King and people were hunting him down. Like, that's nothing to celebrate. People would be in fear. So that doesn't make sense to me. I'm kind of on the plan of he wants to sail the Sunny to the moon, and how are you supposed to sail your ship to the moon if you can't even make it around the world first? So that makes no sense, but it's the best I got. Oh, two things I forgot about the intro. I love Luffy and the crew changing their clothes in that scene, just showing how far they come, all the moments in between here and there. So I love all the outfit changes. But there's also a moment with Vivi running towards the giant pop bubble thing, and I don't want to give spoilers, so I'm not going to really say anything about that right now, but I'm interested on what that means, but it is linking to one of my favorite theories that I've seen around the internet, and that is that Vivi will eventually get the Pawpaw fruit, and I love that idea. I hate that idea, but I love that idea. So I do like that theory. Frankie, back to Frankie, saying that now we need to find the last road poneglyph. We just need one more. We can get to the final island. And Robin's saying it's not going to be that easy. But he's like, we have to find it. Our captain's dream is on the line here. And it's like, no one else has ever found this poneglyph. In all of history, they have never found it. Well, clearly Roger probably found it to get to the end of the road. But still, I don't know where I think it is. I know a lot of people are saying Elbath. I don't really want it to be Elbath. Mostly because I want the person with the burn scar to have it, and I want them to be down in the underworld Davy Jones' locker. That I want it to be in Davy Jones' locker. Obsessively so. I've never wanted anything more in my life, okay? Just give me this. Can I have that? We then get Sabo on Lelucia, however it's pronounced. Oh my god, it was brilliantly done in the anime. It's so good. The Marines are tapping in as he's trying to get word out to the other revolutionaries, and you see the ominous clouds in the distance, the green glowing light. we focus on the kids and the civilians and a little bit of the former king and princess or whatever of Lucia that have been thrown in jail after the revolution here. Then you have the Gorosei making a call, telling the Marines to cut their wiretap that they're doing, that they never intercepted any call this night, that Lelucia has never existed. And that is when they like rain fire, nuclear weapons, who knows what kind of attack is happening on this island, and full on obliteration. Oh, it gets dark and it's glorious and I love it. The One Piece anime has entered the end game, and that moment was glorious. The entire island wiped out, leaving a hole in the ocean behind, and I need to spend some time with some scientists in this world as they study it, because it reflects back on Enies Lobby and the hole there and the rising waves with the giant storms that happen every so many years and that drags water away from Long Ring Long Land Islands. It's just so interconnected with this world, and I love it. Side note, I always kind of pictured this attack as blue for some reason. I probably just saw a fan coloration of it. But in the anime, it was more red with a little bit of white in there, similar to Emu, the one with the pointy hat's eyes, the same color there. Not sure if that's relevant at all. I'm just going to make a note of it. Editing Jessica popping in. I spent so much time staring at this map because they showed it upside down, thinking Lelucia, however it's pronounced. There was some kind of hidden meaning because they showed it upside down and it almost looks like a different word. I'm probably just crazy. I don't know why I thought there's some hidden meaning here. I can't think of anything. And then we cut to the crew. They're in a winter storm, and Luffy, my darling angel, is sitting on the lion's head, not bothered whatsoever, having the time of his life with his adventures and his crew, because they're all back together again, and it's beautiful. And everyone is freaking out during this harsh storm. Except Zoro. Like, everyone else is, like, freezing, and he's just there. The cold is a state of mind, and he's just sitting there with his shirt open or his jacket open. Then he starts arguing with Sanji. They're all back together again. It's so good. Robin, my darling angel, is just sitting inside having coffee or her tea, and it's sliding around. She uses one of her hands from the devil fruit to keep it from sliding off the table, and Chopper's going off with his hat, and it's so freaking cute. Then they, of course, come to the orb of water that's floating above the ocean here with a sprout or whatever. And they're like, what is that? What's going on? And Luffy sees somebody inside. That's when Sanji says he hears a lady screaming. And they're like, what do we do? Can we help at all? And Zoro just comes in my favorite moment of this episode, going, obviously, we just cut it. And it just reminds me so much of Enies Lobby when they're on the train and it's falling. And they're like, I hope you thought of a way to land this. It's like, of course I did. We fall. And I love it. I love it. Because he's just like, we cut it. And then he cuts it open. Bonnie, of course, comes out. And here we're going into some manga spoilers. So there's a timestamp, skip ahead. Bonnie comes out of the water. Luffy goes to grab her, but she is a child. And when this was first presented in the anime, it had definitely been brought up in reference to Bonnie's age, saying that she's actually younger than she's pretending to be, using her devil fruit to age herself up. Past Jessica had figured that was the most logical explanation, but I am obsessed and kind of desperate would probably be a better word with learning anything about the Void Century. So I was praying for an immortal child that came from the Void Century, and she's just using her devil fruit to age herself up, but she appears younger than she is, but really she's older from the Void Century. I was very wrong. She is just a child. This is a child. But Luffy and Chopper and Bonnie have gone overboard into the water. Then you get the introduction to the sea beast coming up from below them. And Usopp is running and scared. I'm like, where are you running to? You're on a boat. The boat is covered. And it's a fantastic first episode. And as much as I love the introduction for the sea beast, nothing is ever allowed to touch this boat. The Sunny is off limits. We're not losing another boat. So it gets tipped over. I'm very angry about that. But the Vega Force 1 ends up saving it, so it's forgiven. But I'm still not happy. You don't touch the Sunny. We see Caribou floating in the water, and of course, I knew he was there, clearly, but I keep forgetting that he's at locations that he's at, and I really feel like Caribou is going to become, like, a bigger player eventually, because he knows about the Poseidon, he knows about the Pluton. He's said before that he's trying to get information to somebody. He's working for someone, I assume, important. And on a tinfoil hat level, he's got the green eyes that are double ringed. The only other ones that I can think of off the top of my head, or not off the top of my head, I'm getting a tinfoil hat theory ready for it, is we have Emu with red double ringed eyes. We have Zunichi the elephant with, I think it's teal or something, double ringed eyes. Mihawk has yellow. You have Caribou with the green. And you have Cabbage with, when he goes into his split personality form, one side's gold, yellow, and the other side's like the blue. And I'm like, I feel like there's something here. I just don't know what it is. So if anyone got some crazy theories about that, I'd love to hear it. Jinbei has dove into the water to save Bonnie, Chopper, and Luffy. Brings them up. Chopper, of course, says, I think I seen heaven, like they almost drowned. My brain's just going, heaven? Underworld? Another connection. Give me the underworld in One Piece. I need them to sail the river Styx. Yes, I'm desperate. I'm obsessed with that idea. Now, we also get a cutaway to, not necessarily Punk Hazard, but the kids from Punk Hazard that they've taken. They've been turned into giants. They're trying to reverse them back to their regular height. And I'm partly wondering why we're bringing them up specifically again. Of course, it's because we need to go back to this location. But it's reminding me also of Big Mom and how she's obsessed with giants, and also the government's human experimentation to turn them into weapons, so that they were trying to create giant soldiers. She had been almost sold off to the government, and Mother Caramel had been selling off children to be used in the government for years. So I'm thinking there's a connection there. Why I'm being back to Big Mom, I don't know. Possibly because there was a discussion I had with someone on TikTok who is convinced that Big Mom is dead. And I'm like, that seems like a very unsatisfying end to her story, because she doesn't know about what happened with Mother Caramel. She just woke up having eaten everyone after a hunger pains, not realizing what happened, the manipulation she faced by the government, the effects on Elbath, and the trouble she got into there. I just feel it makes more sense for her character, for her to learn what happened to her and not necessarily make amends, maybe be held accountable, learn something, because she had never been taught like to emotionally regulate, and it's just go into hunger pains, all consumption, gluttony. Like, she never learned to control herself and her emotions. And I just thought it'd be interesting to see how she would react to learning the truth about her past. And said commenter on TikTok was just like, no, that's stupid. We already know everything that's happened with her and her story. She's not the main character. She's dead. And I want to know what people think. Is Big Mom alive? Because I'm going with she had better be, or else it's going to make me dislike Wano even more if that was her ending. That was a big side note, but basically human experimentations have been brought up once again. And I think we're going to circle back around to the experimentation on children. Once again, manga spoiler, timestamp in the description, because we know that the government had been experimenting on Bonnie and her mother. I am firmly in the camp of they were trying to make their own Nika, and using Bonnie's devil fruit that has the ability to manipulate her own body with properties similar to Nika. I think they were trying to make their own Nika to control. Of course, the real reason we're on this island is because Helmeppo's gone there for help. My darling angel, sweetest boy, is looking for help to save his best friend, because Kobe has been kidnapped by Blackbeard, now gone to Pirate Island. He can't find anyone who can help him. And Prince is saying, like, raise your head, stop begging, and Helmeppo is just like, I will not move an inch, I'll continue to bow and beg until someone agrees to help me to go save Kobe. We really need someone to just show up on a boat and go, hey losers, get him, we're going shopping, and then saving Kobe. But I love Helmeppo. I love him so much. Back with the crew, we have the introduction of Vegapunk, and it's glorious, and I love it, so I'm more excited for the next episode. And she's talking about how she can't override the sea monster's like basic instincts, and that theme will of course be playing a role. I'm just so happy with everything of these first two episodes. The art is gorgeous, the music is perfect, pacing seems fine for the moment. It's been a while since I watched the anime, other than an episode or two. I could have done without the many shots of Bonnie in her adult form without a shirt on. I'm just very thankful Sanji wasn't there to see it. And yeah, extremely looking forward to the next episode. I don't know how long I'm going to continue on with the anime, but it is Egghead, and I love Egghead manga. So hopefully I love the anime as well. I've enjoyed moments of the anime, but I've only really seen the I've seen the Olive East Blue, enjoyed it fine, and I enjoyed it. The pacing just didn't work for me. I had to stop because I'm constantly skipping forward like 5 seconds on Crunchyroll. I seen all of Water 7 and Ennis Lobby, cause flawless, but that's pretty much all. So hopefully I can watch all of Egghead. Alright, I'm going to talk about the next animes that I have been watching that are new and upcoming. All right, so Apothecary Diaries. This is absolutely adorable. I was not planning to watch this really ever. The setting did not seem like my vibe. It takes place in a palace in a harem for the emperor, and I'm like, you know what? That setting might not be exactly my thing. It's heavily romance focused. I don't like romance, so I'm like, not my vibe. But then I seen a single scene for this anime. And I'm going to be talking pretty much some spoilers here, but nothing really plot related, just little moments that really got me invested. And I love this anime so far. Like I binged it all. I binged it all in a day because of this one scene I seen on TikTok. You have the main character, Mao Mao, and she's talking to the main guy. And she's talking about how if she ever screws up, if she ever makes a mistake, she's likely going to have to be executed. And he will be the one who gives that order and passes that sentence. So she asked him, hey, if you ever have to have me executed, can you make sure it's by poison? It doesn't really matter. I'm a lowly servant. If hanging or beheading or whatever will be fine. I'm in no place to request this. And he's just like, are you crazy? Like, I would never do that to you. And she's just like, it's not a matter of could or could not. It's not a matter of would or would not. It's could or could not. You could have me executed at any point in time for any reason. Her life is meaningless to society and the emperor and everything that's happening here. She's very low on the totem pole. And I'm like, oh, damn. Bringing that up. Okay, let's give this anime a shot. And it's not just that one moment. Repeatedly, it's the lack of power and the threat of their own lives in this world that they're in, and the lack of agency and autonomy that they have. So the story starts off with Mao Mao being kidnapped and sold technically into slavery, but sold to the palace. And all the money she makes, or at least half the money she makes, gets sent back to the kidnappers who sold her there. And she brings it up being like, your governments, your people, they all know this happens, but it's not in their interest to stop it, so why should they? And at one point, she's talking about how she purposely makes herself appear less attractive to prevent being dragged into side alleys. And the people she's telling this to just look shocked and horrified, but they're like, yeah, that's the world we're living in. When dealing with the harem itself, so there are 4 main concubines for the emperor. I love them all. They're all wonderful, but one of them is like 14 years old. She's a literal child. Thankfully, this emperor has never visited her. Not so thankfully, she was the concubine of the previous emperor who had many children in his service. She was 9 at the time. And I'm just like, that is horrible. And the characters in this world are like, are you serious? She was 9? That's ridiculous. And it just like, this is the situation they're in. They have no say, they have no control. It just is the situation they find themselves in. There's a situation where one of the lower concubines is sold off as a prize to a general. And one of the higher, later on, this is all spoilers, is the higher up concubine in this, like the emperor's favorite, says, is it wrong of me to be jealous of her? Because it's revealed that she wanted to be sold off. She wanted to go be with her love. And it's like, this person has been able to leave and find love. It's like, no, it's not wrong of you to be jealous. So many little moments are brought up to express like they are at risk, have no agency, have no power. And I was not expecting it just based on the trailer that I seen. Mao Mao is repeatedly trying to protect the other servants, especially poison tasters, because their job is to taste the food of either the emperor or the concubines or someone like the higher up concubines. They taste the food, and if it's poisoned, well, it'll hurt them, it'll probably kill them or paralyze them or something like that, but at least it didn't get to the important people. Like, the poison tester's life means nothing in this world. So with Mao Mao being a poison taster, she recognizes that, knows the position they're in, the fear that they're in, and she wants to keep them safe however she can. But this entire anime is a comedy. All this, while presented and said to be horrible, it's a very light show. It's not, it's dramatic, it's funny, it's palace drama and politics. Lots of humor. Mao Mao is adorable and hilarious. A full-on geek, and oh, I love her so much. Like, despite all these topics that are presented as terrible things, it does not make the anime's tone depressing or dark or too serious. It is very much a comedy romance. And somehow the tone works. I don't overly like the main guy character, Jinchi. There's nothing wrong with him at all. His personality, though, is just, he's very attractive, like angelically attractive, and he both likes / is obsessed with Mao Mao, but also just kind of annoying her and using her as a toy and manipulating her. Not really, only very briefly for that one moment, and it turns into, oh, I genuinely respect you and the skills that you have. But I could use a little bit more with his character, and I'm sure we'll get that eventually. The basic plot is, so she has been sold to the palace and is just waiting out her time till she can go home. And then it's very episodic. She used to work as an apothecary, basically a doctor, and is just figuring out how people were poisoned, mystery of the week. And it is so good. Every episode was so much fun and humorous. I love the characters. I love everyone in the harem. I love Mao Mao. I love the characters so much. I just don't know what's going to happen because it can't stay episodic forever, so I'm not sure when a more overarching storyline is going to appear. I don't expect a overthrow the government, this society is wrong, let's free everybody. I don't expect that, even a little bit, because everyone just treats this as, this is the situation we're in, we're making the best of it, we're going about our days, and we're not going to be upset about it. She is working as a poison tester, as I said before, but she is actually immune to many types of poison through all kinds of experiments because she loves science and experimenting and making new poisons and making medicines. She's a little bit too much like Sherlock Holmes. She in my opinion, she knows like everything about everything, and it's kind of frustrating to have a character who is so perfect. But at the same time, I still like Sherlock Holmes, so I'm not angry about it. It's just a note. She's almost flawless, in my opinion, because she's just so adorable, and I love her. I also love how Jinchi is really taken with her, and she could not be bothered with him at all. Oh, I really, really recommend and like this anime. I just don't know where it's going to go or what the plot is going to be. Next, we have Solo Leveling. Only the first 2 episodes are out for this one. I really knew nothing going in. I knew it was a South Korean web novel that is now turning into an anime, and it's very highly anticipated and popular. I was not blown away by episode 1. I don't think portal fantasy is my vibe. If we're going to have, because I got no issue with going from real world into fantasy world, but I prefer it to be heavily in one or the other. The option of going back and forth easily, like a 50-50 split, not a vibe I overly like, I think. I don't really know. I haven't watched enough or read enough isekai, portal, anything like that. But we'll see if that's my issue. The art style, I've seen people praising it like crazy as like absolutely gorgeous and blowing away. I was not impressed, not even really a little bit. It feels like cutscenes from a very high quality video game, but I feel at a distance. I don't know. Like, it gets brutal, like characters being full on vaporized, but I'm just like, It looks too clean. It looks like a video game cutscene, which may be the point in the vibe that they're going for, especially based on the ending for episode 2. But essentially, portals have opened up, and they have so much time before the portal fully opens to allow monsters from the dungeon side to go to our world, or human world. So there are hunters that will go through first and try to beat all the monsters, beat the dungeon boss, get objects, and prevent them from coming to attack humanity. The hunters are also ranked from like S to E, E being the absolute lowest, and for magical ability, and you have no way of gaining more power. So our main character is the E ranked worst hunter, the least powerful hunter that there is, and he is going with a group into the dungeon. They easily clear the dungeon. He gets injured quite severely, but his friend's a good healer, so that's fine. And then they find the second dungeon attached to this one. And they're like, let's go through there. Like a bunch of people who have never watched a horror movie before. They end up in this gorgeous dungeon with giant stone statues. And I'm like, I would have hightailed it there the second I seen them before the door closed behind me. Actually, I wouldn't have even made it that far. I would not go into the second dungeon. But the second episode, while the first one did not blow me away, I was very much impressed by episode 2. The main character proves himself to be very resourceful and smart as he pieces together the clues of the dungeon. It really feels like a puzzle in a video game or a D&D campaign situation that you're trying to figure your way through. He's very like human and relatable by the end as he's being like sacrificed on an altar, and thinking back at how selfish other people were, is like, I wanted to live too. Why did you leave? How could I sacrifice myself? It's not a good thing that I'm dying just so others can live. I should have survived this. But I'm assuming what's going to happen is he will be reborn in some way, and with a lot more power, enough to solo the dungeons going forward on his own. It's kind of the vibe that I think we're going to go with, but I don't know. Yeah, I am optimistically impressed. I'm interested. It has my interest. I've heard nothing but amazing things. It's only 2 episodes in, so I like the characters. I think I like the situation. I think I can deal with equal amounts Portal and Real World, and hopefully we go more into one or the other. Yeah, I'm definitely going to continue watching it. I definitely see potential because I know a lot of people love this one. And then finally, we have my personal most anticipated anime release, and that's going to be Mr. Villain's Day Off. I love the manga for this one, and we have the first 2 episodes of the anime, and it's so cute. This is low stakes, no plot, just vibes, adorable. You have the villain, so Mr. Villain's Day Off. He is the general of an evil organization bent on taking over the world. We are only following him, though, on his day off. He does not do work on his day off. He will not fight the heroes, which are essentially Power Rangers, defenders of humanity and this world. Nope, not fighting them. If they show up, it's just like, this is my day off. I'm not fighting you. Peace, truce, bye. I have eggs from grocery shopping in here. Don't want to break them. Peace out. He loves going to the zoo and grocery shopping, and he likes ice cream, and it's so, so cute. I adore. He went to the mall, and there are these 2 kids who are like 2 of my favorite characters in this series. And they're like, hey, Mr. Stranger, we have lost our parents. Can you help us? And he's like, yeah, I'll take you to the Lost Children's Center. They're like, can you buy us ice cream first? All right, yeah, I'll buy you ice cream. And then the little kids are like, thanks, Mr. Stranger, who's not our father. And you get like the reactions of people around them as they say this. And they're like, what do you mean? Why does he have these kids if he's not their father? What did they say stranger? He's just like, can you not say that? And he's trying to get them to the Lost Children's Center, and it's adorable. He is completely panda obsessed, so he'll spend hours and hours and hours at the zoo just staring at pandas because he wants to know what color their tail is. He's so sweet to the kids. So there's another kid there that teaches them how to pet a rabbit properly without frightening them, and he goes to the petting zoo and he's surrounded by rabbits, and he's just like, I can't move or I will crush them. What do I do? And it's absolutely adorable. But still, he is the villain, so his inner monologue is just like, yes, this child was very helpful. They made a very good day. They are very kind. I will remember your smile, or you will be a great animal doctor one day. But no, all humans must still be eliminated, so you're going to be gone one day. And then he's at work and his subordinates are like, oh, he's thinking about how to wipe away humanity and exterminate all humans. Meanwhile, he's thinking, I wonder if I could get some rabbits into the office building. They're good stress relief. We could pet rabbits on our break. And it's so cute. He has the perfect work-life balance. He is a fantastic boss. His subordinates worship him because he's just so kind. One is trying to stay late after work. He's like, oh, sir, general, I apologize for being so slow. I'm just trying to get this done. And he's like, why are you here so late? No, he looks at the work. This doesn't need to be done today. We're not conquering the earth in one day. Don't burn yourself out. Work-life balance. Go home, relax. It's your day off tomorrow. Take advantage of it. And I love him. I love him so much. I think I'm like 60-something chapters into the manga, by the way. No plot in sight, just cute vibes. So I'm not quite sure if they're going to introduce a little bit more plot. There were a couple little cutscenes that showed him fighting the Rangers, but those cutscenes were in the manga as well, so it's not like it's a big thing. It's just like, oh, they were fighting, but today we're going for ice cream. And I'm just like, I love this anime. It's so cute. I love this manga. Really no plot, just vibes. All right, so those are the ones that I'm currently watching. I am still going to be watching Hunter x Hunter, and I'm working on Steins Gate. It's just taking me a long time. So that's what I'll be up to this anime season. All right, talk to you later. Bye.